Hello everybody and welcome. In this video, I'll show you how to extract data from a real website using Python. We will be working in Jupyter Notebook. So I use Anaconda to upload Jupyter Notebook. So if you are interested in downloading Anaconda, I have created another video. I will link that in the description below so you can get started with using Jupyter Notebook. We'll be using powerful libraries like BeautifulSoup and Request to scrape and process data effectively. This video will guide you through every step from fetching a website to saving the data for future use. We'll be working with the Books to Scrape website as our example, so you'll see how to apply these techniques on real websites. So by the end of the video, you'll be able to automate web scraping tasks and simplify your data collection process. So we will get started to step one. Step one, what you will need is to install necessary libraries. So I will put a note here, step one. So step one, install necessary libraries. I put these little pound signs or number signs here to let it know it's a note. But what I'll do is I'm going to change this from code to markdown. Then I will go ahead and run it. So you can hit this little play button to run your code, or simply just hit Control and Enter on your keyboard at the same time, and it runs your code. So here is my note. Next, I will go ahead and add another cell. I will add a few of them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install this library. So I need this library for web scraping. So exclamation pip, PIP, install requests, and then BeautifulSoup. And the number 4. Now I'm going to run this code. So you only have to do this one time. So this request here is a library that allows Python to interact with websites and download their content. And the BeautifulSoup 4 is a library used to analyze HTML. That's the code behind the websites. So we can extract specific information like titles, prices, or links. I will get into that more in detail as we go forward. So step 2, I'm going to do another note here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import my libraries. We will import libraries into our script so we can use them. So import requests from BS4, import capital B for BeautifulSoup, capital S-O-U-P, soup. So I'm going to run that by Control Enter. So next will be number 3. But first I just want to kind of give this a breakdown. So again, this will help us fetch content from the website, and BeautifulSoup is to read and extract specific elements like links, images from a web page. So step 3. So in this step, we will use a code to pretty much download the HTML content of a web page. We want to scrape. So for this example, let's scrape a sample product page from an e-commerce website. So first off, we will use this code to grab our website, but it's going to be a URL. So it's going to be a URL of the web page to scrape. So we're going to call it URL. And we want to pull a website called Books to Scrape. That's the example we're going to use. So books.toscrape.com /exclamation. Next, we're going to send a GET request to fetch the HTML content of the page, and we're going to call it response. So this is a request dot get URL. Next, we will print quotations status code. So capital STATUS code, capital CODE, comma, response dot status underscore code, close parentheses. Now I'm going to run this code. So the status code is 200. I will break this down for you. The URL here is the web address of the web page we want to scrape. Okay, so it's basically this one here. So this one here, this get request, it sends a request to the web server hosting the page. So if the server allows it, it will send back the HTML content of the page. And then this response here, this response code, it displays a status code. A code of 200 means the request was successful and the page is ready to be scraped. Okay, so before I move on, I just want to show you guys this thing I put together, which I will link this in the description below. And basically it gives you the top websites for practicing web scraping with Python. So we're doing this one here, the books2scrape.com. But there's other ones, like I said, there's five altogether. So this one's the one we're going to do the examples with. So, and then it gives a little description of why to use this and example data. So it gives book titles, prices, stock availability, and ratings. Other ones, there's a quote to scrape, which is the URL here you can use. And it describes why to use this and an example of the data. So each one has that. So title, URL, why to use this, and examples. So there are 5 here. And again, I will link this down below. So whatever one you want to use, you simply can just copy this URL here and paste it into this part here where we're using the URL. And you can kind of brainstorm on other websites to grab that information for practicing scraping from these websites. So we'll go ahead and move on to step number 4, which is analyze the HTML content. And again, I want to put this as a note, kind of keep it organized. So a markdown, Control Enter. So in this step, we will need to process the HTML so we can work with it like a structured document. I'm going to go ahead and type out this code, and after I type this out, I want to kind of explain it to you. So first of all, I want to call it soup, and then BeautifulSoup, which capital Beautiful, capital SOUP, response, RESPONSE dot content, comma, HTML dot PARSER quotation, close parentheses. Next line of code is going to be print soup dot printify, open and close parentheses. You need bracket. I need 500. I want to view 500, the first 500. I'm going to do a Control Enter. Now here you can see it's going to show the first 500 characters of the website. So this beautiful soup right here, it pretty much reads the HTML content from the web page and makes it easy to navigate. And this here, this soup prettify, this displays the HTML in a readable format so we can identify the elements we want to extract. So if you're reading this, we're not knowing exactly what all of this means. Basically, it's just the HTML code behind the website. In case you don't know what this HTML is, HTML is short for Hypertext Markup Language. So it is the code that structures a website. It contains elements like headings, paragraphs, links, images, and it's organized in a tree-like structure. So each part of the page has a text or an image, but it's wrapped in like tags. So like the HTML tag, the head tag, the body, H1 is like the size of the text, basically the text in the body, and the div tag. So these are all tags. So as you can see, here's the head, the title. So these are tags. This is an opening title because it doesn't have a forward slash, but if you see this here as a forward slash, that's the end of the title. So all products, books, scraped, sandbox. Basically, that's what this code is. It grabs the first 500 characters of the HTML code behind the website. So you can kind of get a look at that. Okay, so number 5. Okay, so now that we have the HTML, we can extract specific information like products, name, prices, or links. So to do this, I'm going to put a note here saying find all book titles on the page. So to do that, I'm going to call it book underscore titles. And I'm using this from the library soup dot find underscore all. And I want it to grab all of the titles with the tag H3 from the HTML code. So here I want to print the titles. So to do that, I'm going to go for title in book underscore titles. I want to print open parentheses title dot text close parenthesis. Now Control Enter to run my code. So now as you can see, it ran all of the titles of the books. So go over this code. So this soup.findAll, it finds all HTML elements with the specific tag and class name. So for example, this searches for, like I said, all of the H3 tags within the HTML code. So it could be tags with specific class products titles or price titles, etc. So this extracts only the text content of each product title. So now we'll go ahead and we will go to step number 6. And that is saving the data into a CSV file. So to do that, the first thing I need to do is import CSV. It's going to be with open books.csv. So you can name this whatever you want, but in this case, we're going to name it books and save it as a CSV. New one. And I will run this code. And there we go. Not sure what was going on, but now it gave us clear run. So importing the CSV file here, it is a library that helps us create and write to a CSV file. So open products to CSV. It opens a new CSV file for writing, kind of like an Excel file sheet. So by importing this CSV, we are basically using this code to save a CSV file. So it goes into kind of like a table. So when it saves, it goes into your Jupyter Notebook home, which is here, all of your files. So if you go down right here, that's what we called it, books.csv, right here, books.csv. So it downloads it here. And of course, if you double click it, now it shows all of your book titles. So basically, if you want to save it to your computer, you just open it up like I did, and then you can go ahead and go to your File button, and you can save as a CSV file, um, or even download this file. So whatever you'd like, you'd be able to do it there. So next, we can go ahead and go to step number 7. In this step, sometimes websites by block requests or pages may not exist, so let's add error handling. And to do this, I will need this code. I'm going to do try, and then I'm going to enter in response equals requests dot get, open parentheses, URL, close parentheses. I spelled that wrong. Requests. There we go. And I'm going to use the same thing, but dot, response dot, raise underscore for underscore status. Open and close parentheses. So this is a raise on error for bad responses. So for example, like when you get that error 404 or 500 on a website, that's pretty much raises that error. Next is the accept requests dot exceptions. So request exception altogether as E, and then I want it to print anytime an error happens, I want it to do an output of an error occurred. So I will run that. As you can see, it went through. There's a number there. So next, I want to go to step number 8. And in this step, we're going to do automate the script. We can set up this script to run at regular intervals using Task Scheduler. So I'm going to import time. And I want to write a note here, run the scraping script every hour. So I'm going to type in while true, response equals request.get URL. And then soup equals beautiful soup. And book underscore titles equals soup dot find underscore all. We are asking it to find all of the tags that have H3, and we want it to print ending with time.sleep. 3600. So this wait for 1 hour before running again. While this is true, it creates an infinite loop to continuously run the script. So time.sleep 3600 seconds is pretty much an hour. So it pauses the script for 1 hour before running again. So that's what it's telling it to do. So we'll go ahead and go to step number 9 since this is taking a while to run. So step number 9, we want to add headers to avoid blocking So this will prevent websites from blocking our requests. We can simulate a browser. So I want to add a note here so I know what we're doing. So I want to add headers to mimic a browser. So we'll start off with headers equals. I'm going to copy and paste that in there. So header stimulates a real browser by including a user agent, which is the header, in the request. This reduces the chance of being blocked by the website. So that's what that is for. So we're going to go ahead and close that bracket, a curly bracket, and start with the response equals requests dot get URL, comma, headers equals headers, close, and then we're going to print status code with headers, comma, response dot status underscore code, close parenthesis. I'm going to run that. Now this one won't run until this one's finished. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to my kernel button, and I'm going to restart my kernel and run all cells. It did take a while for it to run, but this is what it looks like after it's done. So it waits for an hour before running again. This is all of the output that you see here, which is the titles of each book. And then down here, I ran this code, step number 9, with headers to avoid blocking. So this one ran smoothly as well, status code headers 200. So just a breakdown on step number 9. So this here headers, it stimulates a real browser by including a user agent, which we used right here. This reduces the chance of being blocked by the website. So that's it for scraping data. And again, you can use any website. If you just go to step number 3, when we uploaded the URL, you can do different ones. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video or found it very helpful, please consider supporting my YouTube channel by hitting the like and subscribe buttons, or you can also buy me a coffee. That link is in the description below. But any way you want to support my channel, it is greatly appreciated. So again, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.